Well, game number 2 coming your way next, guys. This will be the final game out of North America. As you recall, we do have unfortunately a forfeit in our second set. Cloud9 unable to field a roster versus Eager. So this will be the final game today, and the final game out of week 4. Enemy versus TSM into the banning phase. And once again, Circuit goes bye-bye. I would assume Ao Kwong is up next for TSM.
Europe tends to really dislike playing against healers, and North America just doesn't want to deal with any of these high single target damage assassins. Circuit and Ao Kwong basically permanently banned on this side of the Atlantic. So for that, already gone are Circuit and Ao Kwong.
You know, and maybe there's a little bit of a train of thought here that the quality of the junglers is just a little bit different, what they like to play and how well they play them in North America. You see Ao Kwong get through a lot more in Europe. And we've seen that before, where regions or the players in the regions just don't think that it's played that well or isn't that strong in their meta. You know, hard to say which one it is necessarily, but that's probably the case here. And Athena, so the exact same bans again coming through in game number 2 here. Will Enemy first pick the Khepri this time around? It didn't seem to have a huge impact on that game, to be perfectly honest with you. I mean, sure, he's a great initiator and he has a lot of poke, and it fit well in the lineup. But we didn't see those like Khepri ultimates coming through, saving the day and changing the team fight.
For what it's worth, a lot of what Khepri does is sort of silent and unsung with the first pick Geb for PainDeViande on Enemy. That second ability, able to just reduce the damage that your players take. Sure. There's no, you get a little bit of sparkle. There's no big
Khepri
firework.
Janus again for TSM, yeah?
Yeah, there's no big firework that comes out. So a lot of what Jigz provided for this team wasn't really front and center like those important Pillar of Agonies or those Thor dunks, but definitely an important part of what the team brought to the table. Janus, one more time.
Yeah, definitely the Janus. That's all Snoopy's played so far. Why? If it ain't broke, don't fix it. And I think Khepri as well. Unless Jigz is like, I'm bored of Khepri. I think they'll take him.
We're going to see the Thor. So right now,
sure.
It's a very similar draft. I mean,
exact same draft.
Yes. As you said, man.
That's the problem with the Geb first picked, unfortunately, on the side of Enemy. Even though you take it away from, Eonic doesn't play support anymore. But even though you take it away from the enemy team, Geb doesn't have any swing potential, right? And there are several Guardians and several potential tanks that do have some swing potential. But Geb is like, you can't now take the Khepri. Because where the heck does Geb go?
Yeah.
So
there's no other place. He can't do the solo like other characters can.
So it's exact same draft with the same ban so far this time around. Knew I was fine. I thought Khaos did a fine job. The only reason he lost the lane is because Snoopy got a 1 in a million ultimate to get first blood, and that just put him ahead. But Khaos played fine. I thought Wiggles, as we saw as well, flash farmed really well on the Hun Batz up to level 5. PainDeViande's Geb got picked a whole crap ton, but that's just kind of the nature of the team that each side drafted here. And well, it may go the same way this time around. As Thor, Janus, Khepri are very good at killing immobile supports.
Oh, a Bologna ban coming out now on the side of Enemy. Very interested to see.
Just go watch what we said about the picks in game 1. It's the same thing, right? They banned the Bologna because they don't want all that AoE initiation out of Enemy. And now Enemy is going to ban
Hunter.
Probably Hades this time, yeah.
Oh, they do ban Hades, switching it up a little bit. Hades made such an impact in that last game. Very smart to switch that.
So now what team fighter is TSM going to be able to pick to help augment this Khepri? Do they perhaps take the Deuce lane to give them a bit of an additional team fight? Cupid
Chalk.
Cupid could be a thing. Yeah, ADC Chalk maybe. Certainly not the Kali. They'll take this. Okay, they'll take Sun Wukong. So this is what we suspected may happen in game number 1. It's going to be a little bit different this time around. I mean, once again, they're going to have a hard time beating the team fight squad out of Enemy, but even more difficult now. They really need to isolate people with Sun Wukong, but luckily it's Divios and Sun Wukong. So he should be able to disrupt the team fights fairly well. There's the Thor wall as well to break up the fight, and then Khepri can root people far away. So if they'll keep it disrupted, but Enemy, great draft here. I think Hercules is one of the better picks that they could have made in this situation. Another really resilient frontliner they didn't have really in last game. Osiris was okay, but he didn't come online until too late, and TSM had already had their Males of Renewal online then, and were able to kite him really, really well. So Hercules has a lot more CC potential and has a lot more burst, especially early in the game.
Hercules also goes up against Sun Wukong rather nicely.
Yeah, he's fine. He's one of the better matchups for Sun Wukong, certainly. Yeah, the heal, and you're just a big beefcake guy versus a monkey.
Xbalanque going to wind up on the bottom side of Team SoloMid's draft, so very, very similar comps.
So Eonic is allied, confirmed. Right? Like
Freya and Xbalanque.
Freya and Xbalanque, yeah, that's it. That's all I do.
Xbalanque.
Eonic, best hunter from behind.
Maybe we'll see a Vulcan.
Ooh, the People's Vulcan?
The People's Vulcan.
Some People's Vulcan, I guess. Not all the People's Vulcan. That still belongs to allied. But Ram selected on the side of Enemy. Worth noting as well as their hunter this time around. Haven't seen too much of the man in blue, but we'll get him this time for Enemy.
Yeah, Rama has primarily been a Snoopy pick. And with Snoopy gone out of that hunter role, he's now in the mid. it's now available for choice. It was almost always taken by Team SoloMid very early in the draft for Snoopy to play an enemy, taking advantage of that. Vetium going to be playing the Hindu Hunter as the group of enemy makes a 5-man squad and goes to the right-hand side of the map, seeing if they can find any stragglers.
Yeah, not going to catch them out. So go ahead and introduce the teams, guys. Enemy, once again, they're the blue squad, bottom side of the minimap, left side of your spectator UI. SaltMachine, he was Osiris last game. He's Hercules this game. And he will be your solo laner. wigglesdabae, once again, as the Hun Batz. Khaos, once again, as the new PainDeViande, once again, as the Geb. Vetium, this time around, he'll be Rama. Over on TSM, they are the red squad. Top side of the minimap, right side of your spectator UI. Divios playing what is becoming his signature Sun Wukong, I would say. There's DaGarz on, Thor DaGarz. No surprise there. Snoopy, he just keeps on playing Janus, and they keep on letting him have it. Jigz will be the Khepri again, and Eonic will once again be your Xbalanque. So a very, very similar draft from Team SoloMid. They swap out the Hades for Sun Wukong.
One of the nice flavors that I like here is, so Team SoloMid, a lot of our teams here have team skins with their jersey on it. Team SoloMid opted for the Sun Wukong. They were given the choice, and at that point in time, TSM hadn't really played too much Sun Wukong. Sun Wukong wasn't a popular god in the meta at all. The very next LAN, just a couple of weeks later, well, all the fans are saying, why is Sun Wukong wearing the TSM jersey? The very next LAN, a couple of weeks later, Divios comes out, plays Sun Wukong virtually out of nowhere, as I said, not a popular character at that point in time, decimates the competition, puts himself on the map as a Sun Wukong player after the skin was announced. It's sort of like they understood what was going to happen, and they just let the story unfold.
It's because Reggie bribed me to buff Sun Wukong over and over again, that's why. It's all Reggie's fault. Blame Reggie. At TSM Reginald on Twitter.
Teams will find themselves in lane already. The minute has passed, and everybody is done with their jungle starts. The red buff still on the floor, or still in the jungle for Team SoloMid. Snoopy has not picked that up, whereas on the side of enemy, their mid laner Khaos will be wearing it.
Well, a little bit better this time around for Eonic. Not taking all that poke from the Medusa, but still, you notice the Eonic is fairly low in the lane here. He's getting a ton of harass on the Vetium, but I think, again, you're seeing those growing pains. As they get more and more comfortable in the role, you'll see Eonic taking less and less harass early on.
Right.
But perfectly learning the Geb angles and those Medusa angles and things like that, it's always hard. The opening, 3 and 4 waves are the hardest in the duo lane, I would say. There's such kill potential from the minions, damn minions. They'll just rip through you, so... yeah, but he survived perfectly well last game, and Eonic, much better showing this time around than we saw him earlier in week 4. Yeah,
it's important to stress that those small intricacies that you're talking about, the angles and how to take poke, those are the things that Eonic is going to have to learn. Now, the accuracy and sort of the basics of Smite, expect those to be on point. We saw just how strong Eonic was in the later game, and even just right now, poking on Vetium, not missing too many of those in-hands.
Well, checking in on the soul lane here, where it's Bluestone versus Bluestone, and a lot of harass, a lot of poke, and a lot of kill potential between these two, actually. And normally when you see two warriors, or even when you saw this matchup months ago, you would say, oh, well, they're just going to slapbox each other. No one can really kill each other. But there's some real kill potential with the Bluestone Pendant here. That extra 30 damage per hit, plus just kind of the nature of these two beasts. They have enough CC and burst to kind of take you by surprise, especially as the mystical males start to come out. And there you'll see it shown off as Divios is quite low now after the boulder comes rocking through. Hey.
SaltMachine has some help from Wiggles right here.
Oh, no.
Wiggles
is it going to happen again?
They're going to back. Oh, the ultimate is going to be good.
Smart stuff for Divios,
already going to heal up, understanding the threat that enemy presents.
Look at the minimap, though. Look at DaGarz. He just starts beelining towards the right side of the map. But yeah, I at least like that play at enemy. You know, it shows them adapting from game number 1, where Wiggles kind of sat there trying to make it happen here. He's like, all right, you know what? Screw it. I'm just going to go in. If we force it, great. We'll get a kill. If not, we'll force out an ultimate. That's fine. I'll go farm up some more, keep it going. And yeah, maybe it'll be a bit more successful for him this time around as they do ultimately. DaGarz makes his way all the way over to the right side and will waste a bit of time, but the blue buff's coming back up. He'll clear that out quickly with Divios.
Jigz and Eonic checking the enemy jungle, wanting to see if Khaos was doing the back harpies on the left-hand side of the map. But they went just far enough to get vision on those back harpies, see that they were vacant, and then walk back to lane, just searching for options of something to do.
Vetium's Ram has, I'm trying to remember if we've seen him play. I think I have seen him play it. And I actually want to say, I'm trying to remember, but I think this was one of the better gods that he played, was his Ram last split. And versus Xbalanque, it's a pretty favorable matchup for the Ram, I'd say. As long as you don't trade in hands 1-for-1 with the Xbalanque and you avoid most of the dark damage, you can walk him down pretty easily. And the cripple's very, very good against Xbalanque if you can get it out early enough. A lot of kill potential, and when the Hun Batz factors into it as well, it can work fairly well for them. But we'll see if he's able to solo down Eonic. It's still a tall task, ultimately, especially when there's always that threat of the counter initiation from Thor.
Yeah, I mean, Vetium plays Ram pretty well. I mean, the last time when Vetium and the rest of the enemy faced off against Cognitive Gaming, that was actually, Vetium played Ram in the game that they won. So definitely a boon for him, and lifetime stats 2 for 5 on the character. So he understands it enough to bring it against the big boys. He feels comfortable on this character enough to face the defending world champions on it. So going up against Team SoloMid, again, a formidable opponent, not afraid to take out the Ram.
Yeah, Ram also has the late game, that big attack speed steroid to go and fight the Xbalanque, where that's one of the places where Deuce is a little bit deficient, is in the later stages of the game. Not that having a late game hyper carry in the last game would have solved any of the problems, but you know, assuming that they get the ball rolling a little bit better in this game, they'll have the opportunity to go toe-to-toe later.
As we always say, all hunters are late-game characters, but then in that sort of subclass, you've got the Medusas and the Anhers that hang out in the mid-game, and then the late game is really pushed by the Xbalanques and, well, the Rams. So that's why we see this one coming out. Divios already up on the cloud to avoid the onslaught that is SaltMachine right now. SaltMachine's been doing a lot of work on the Divios, but Divios able to sort of push back a little bit with intelligent use of the ult.
And yeah, now Divios is getting to that critical mass where the Jingu Bang does enough damage, and SaltMachine, he's overextended here. He's going to die. And there is the power of level 8 Sun Wukong. You just don't expect the cudgel with the Bluestone Pendant to clear the wave that quickly. And it does. And all of the archers aggroed on the SaltMachine. Cat Stun does way more damage than anyone would ever expect. And there it is. I mean, that's like the classic solo lane turnaround with Sun Wukong. It's a big reason why this character makes me more angry than I think anything else in the game of Smite when I play against it. His turnaround potential is just so high for something that has such good poke.
I have heard you go on multiple tirades about this character.
I don't like Sun Wukong. I'm getting heated right now.
Fun fact, actually, on our playtest accounts, not everything is automatically unlocked. You have to do it by hand. I believe Bart's account still does not have Sun Wukong unlocked.
No. Nor will it.
Either way, First Blood goes the way of Team SoloMid on the back of that Sun Wukong and looking to continue that trend. Jigz getting very aggressive. Will miss the abduct, but trying to get in front of his target. Not able to capitalize off of his unfortunate miss. Team SoloMid very stacked on this left-hand side of the jungle, looking to find something of value, and all they can find are the mid camps.
Mystical Males started up on the side of old SaltMachine here. Divios didn't like to pick it up on his first back, strangely enough. So he'll maybe, I can't imagine he doesn't buy Mystical Male, can you? I mean so
Mystical Male is the game-changing item for that solo lane. Left-hand camp's going to be taken out by enemy. Team SoloMid did not stick around.
Here we go. Initiation going to pending from TSM. Here comes Janus before. He hits 2 with the ultimate. In comes Sun Wukong in comes the Thor as well, crashing down, hitting 2 with his ultimate. And even with the coordination out of TSM, they're not going to get much returned out of that, and they're going to kite Wiggles, who's not going to get any damage out. Janus just left the mark there again. PainDeViande nearly loses his life in that engagement, though.
Great retreat by enemy.
Right side lane. SaltMachine's in a lot of trouble here. Yeah, Decoy's down. Driving Strike is on mark, but Decoy still has the aggro. And Decoy still has the aggro. And Decoy will maintain the aggro, and Divios will walk out scot-free.
Good thing he had a Decoy to tank the tower.
Yeah. That was, and now this is bad, because SaltMachine was one of the big factors in the last game that was the biggest threat to TSM on that Osiris.
Yep.
Hercules, he can play pretty well from behind, though. That being said, he still has nice base damage values, but...
Damage on the Wiggles, a lot. From the double tap and a couple of basics, the monkey will have to find himself safely in his own back jungle. Go ahead and clear up some camps. Divios finds himself back in the lane.
Well, there's just 2 kills on the board so far in this game, and both of them are 1v1 outplays by Divios, taking down SaltMachine. SaltMachine just a little bit off in the calculation of how much damage that Sun Wukong could put out, and now that means that Divios will make it to the Mystical Male first. He has a Steel Mail online already, getting a little bit more mitigation over the Hercules.
Yeah.
And has an extra active as well, which is factored into this pretty well. Sun Wukong now with 2 slows as the Creeping Curse is available.
And that's what we said, that Mystical Mail, once it comes online, I mean, it takes the already decent clear, or the good clear, from Bluestone Wukong into sort of the next level. The ability just pulses.
It's a trump item versus other melee in the lane, basically.
You can't stand near him.
Yeah. If they don't also have a mystical male, they can't fight you.
And in turn, we normally see mystical male versus mystical male in this lane.
Yeah, they'll both try to get there.
Damn it! Oh, Jigz good.
Sidestep. All right, SaltMachine. I see.
Machine.
Okay, here we go. They're going to try to make the play, but it's a Geb here, and he's going to miss the pullback. And Geb's actually just now going to be here just to make sure the SaltMachine can cleanly get back. I'm sorry. The Janus ultimate was used. They were going to try to undercut the backside of this tower and catch those recalls. Chaos. Oh, here goes Sun Wukong. He's going to use the ultimate. The decoy is there taking the tower. Divios takes a ton of damage, and in comes Thor. He's going to Ox form through. Doesn't have the aggro yet. It's still on the side of the Khepri. On the backside, here comes Wiggles. He's going to do a ton of damage to DaGarz, and will get the return kill. Chaos getting the credit for that one. Can they follow it up with any more? It doesn't look like it, and Janus is going to be able to come in from the side and flank the fight. Nua's up, leap over, ultimate, but the Khepri ults right in time. It's going to save Sun Wukong, put him back up to percentage HP. I think 30 now that he's going to have. Janus damage coming through as well. The dot from Bluestone is enough with Jigz as well to kill off Pain. Can they get Chaos as well? Yes, of course they can. Snoopy, one shot on the Wiggles. Here it comes. Oh.
That's what you asked for last time, Bart.
Yeah,
there's
the aggressive
backside
blink
of the tower. Going to force Wiggles into the rest of the team.
All right, Wiggles. He's still alive. He's doing his thing. The poor coming in. He dodges the Jingo Bang as well. Oxform forced out.
This is trouble.
Just off the mark, though. Oh, he's going to get him. He's going to get him. Does he have any damage to follow this up with, though? No, I think not. And, yeah, the Janus banish is nicely placed. SaltMachine is going to have to force to use another driving strike. Divios has
6, 5, 4 seconds till animals.
Yeah, it's not going to be time.
Will stop the pressure.
They may fight him here now. Catstun's going to be available if he tries to turn this corner. The Janus threshold. He's going to activate the mitigate wounds while Hercules. SaltMachine thinks he has a play here, but I don't think he's going to consider that Divios is going to cat form him. Yep, he's dead. Damn, Catstun does a lot of damage. Look at that. Just chunks down the Hercules. Divios sticks around, smartly gets that kill. And SaltMachine, I think, a little tilted there as he really wanted to try to make the play happen. Wanted to force it, but just couldn't. 7-1 for TSM, and this one looking pretty good.
That did take a long time, though.
Yeah, but Ram got no tower damage out of it, and he didn't even get much farm. I think it was back during that entire engagement, unfortunately.
Vetium got a lot of tower damage.
I'm sorry?
Vetium got a lot of tower damage.
No, Eonic did all the tower damage. Vetium did none.
Left-hand side of the map, this dual lane tower looking... Oh, you are correct.
Yeah. Yeah, like, they didn't get anything done there. Eonic actually was farming that whole time. It's...
I was staring at it, and I understood what I was looking at.
The blue team's tower has gotten damaged.
But it just didn't... All of that pressure in team solo in the solo lane seemed like it should have went the way of enemy, but unfortunately, as you said...
Well, you remember, the Geb was pulled all the way over there to try to start that fight out.
Yep.
Right? So it allowed Eonic to get some lane control there, and as that fight continued on, he just was fine with it.
Divios flipped on the tower, going to be pushed as well immediately up into Somersault Cloud. The decoy will do what it can. And Divios going to be aggressive, not defensive. Ultimate out from the Hercules. Jingle Bang over the top.
Oh, but yeah, he'll have to burn away. And yeah, it'll force Wiggles over. Janus, he's considering whether or not he would support in. He will ultimately move in.
Wiggles going to be poked a little bit by Snoopy's rotation, who did make it all the way over here. Chaos, in turn, will respond by walking to the left-hand side. PainDeViande is caught out. Vetium trying to help along with Chaos. Pain, a little bit too low. DaGarz gets credit for that one as he lands from the top.
Yeah, we saw a lot of that in the last game. And I think credit to Pain and the team that he hasn't been getting picked off with basically the same lineup on the side of TSM. Although they don't have the Hades, I guess, this time around, which did get, I think, 2 or 3 of the kills guaranteed onto him there. So the first time Pain's, or is that the second time Pain gets picked? The second time Pain gets picked this game. But he's having a fine game, I think, so far. His sovereignty time, he isn't going to be very far off from the Khepri, who's having just enjoying a 1-0-4, 5 kills that he's participated in so far. Thor's going to move to the backside. Stun is going to be on the mark, but beads away by Vetium. It's not going to block him in, unfortunately, as he dodge rolls right out of there. And Wiggles is going to move forward and try to leech a bit of experience here. Nua, she kind of wants to fight. She'll Shiny Metal too. Wiggles will port forward. He'll use his ultimate as well to try to get the counter initiation, but the kite is on. They're running away. Eonic, he's going to survive the snipes for now. Janus portal comes through. Not going to find the damage they're looking for. A kill potentially available here. Nua ultimate is going to revive Eonic, though. But can they secure this kill again is the question. Yes, no cooldowns available. Nicely pursued by enemy there. They pick up some 2 kills. One of them being on Eonic, a pretty high-value target now. They're going to chase Sun Wukong, but I don't know about this one, guys.
Divios a little, I mean, I'd normally say overextended, but he's doing work. That said, enemy puts
They're trying to cover the options here.
Yeah. Chaos
SaltMachine
in trouble.
Okay, this is where it could get ugly. I don't think Divios knew SaltMachine was there yet, and they're going to kill. Blinking forward is Pain, going to ult as well, but it's going to be a little bit preemptive there. Here comes the Gold Fury attempt. Janus being zoned out, so they know he's there. Any rally. Yeah, Thor's on his way, but DaGarz does not have an ultimate available. Gold Fury now down to about half HP. Let's take a look back at the Gold Fury here. Can Thor somehow snipe this away? His ultimate is available. 1200 HP, moves in, spin to win. And yes, Team SoloMid will take the Gold Fury there.
DaGarz with a great play, follows it up with a kill. Might even be able to get out of here.
Oh, he dodges the boulder. Why?
DaGarz.
Why are you so good, DaGarz?
Slippery. Not only gets the objective, but also takes one out and makes it out alive for his team, Team SoloMid. 14 minutes in, and what looked to be a great swing from enemy goes the way of TSM, and they're not done.
Yeah, SaltMachine. He goes down there. He gets plucked by Jigz, and that's just the way she goes. That's
the way
just
she
the way
goes
she
sometimes.
goes. Jigz, he thinks about moving forward and looking for a play on Khaos, but he'll think better of it as the fog prevents the vision. They'll go for the tier 1 in the mid, and I don't think this one is going to be contested, unfortunately, by the side of enemy. They'll concede their tier 1 mid, and they'll have only tier 2 towers standing, and once again, they haven't taken a tower yet at the 15-minute mark. It's the same story as last game. Khaos, his beads are forced. Those are beads 3, however, so he'll have them available for the next fight if he can survive this one.
Blinking in his Wiggles, trying to get the ultimate down. He'll use it, but it's beats down by Snoopy, able to walk right on through the wall. Sacred Monkey blink up to Eonic. Duck is strong, but not strong enough. There's the help from PainDeViande, and Wiggles will take out the support. Jigz.
They're going to get flanked here.
Awesome.
Wukong has good positioning to come around the back if they want to re-engage. He's going to make his move any moment now. Divios, perhaps. Okay, he's going to find all 4. And Eonic's going to have to do a lot to peel here for Divios and make this worth it. The darts come out, but he misses that first in-hand, misses the second in-hand as well. Here comes Thor. Divios comes crashing over, wigglesdabae. He's going to be forced out of the fight. The Ged shield was used as well. DaGarz will get the kill ultimately there. Rama finds a pick as well. Vetium finding something out of nothing. Khaos will get picked as well. And TSM, once again, have found themselves a pretty good fight here to continue this aggression. They're going to turn their attention to SaltMachine now. Not the easiest thing in the world to take down a Hercules, but they should have the damage if the double tap hits. It does, and that Janus Unstable Vortex just does a ton of damage to the Hercules, who only has physical mitigation at this point.
Can we take a look at player damage, please? Snoopy doing a lot, but really it's the Sun Wukong that I want to talk about. Sun Wukong, Divios, is almost double player damage for anyone in the game.
Hold on. Can we... When Hercules revives, can we take a look at him? I want to see SaltMachine's build. Did I just see that right? I think I saw that he maxed his 2 over mitigate wounds.
The Earthbreaker?
Yeah.
Trying to deal as much damage as possible rather than be the tanky frontliner.
And he DC'd. Well, he said, you ain't seen my abilities. No way, no how. I'm out of here.
I mean, if you take a look at the build right here, the straight power boots into the Jotun's Wrath, it might be the way of Hercules going pure damage. Wants to max that damage on the Earthbreaker so that the 2-1 combo coming out from Hercules deals as much combo-oriented damage as possible, lowering the kill threshold and making these kills actually
and you saw Divios, like, obviously Divios is a very good player. He wasn't attacking him during the mitigate wounds build-up phase, but still, you get additional base healing out of just using the ability as you rank it up. I'm just curious as to why. What I want to see is I didn't actually catch what level it was. Did he level up to like 2 or 3 and then go back, or did he just seriously like value point mitigate wounds? One of the best abilities in the game. It's really curious, and I'm interested to see as we come out of this pause here, guys. It is TSM versus enemy game number 2. TSM took game number 1, and they're looking pretty good for game 2 as well here, as they put together. It was like 9-1 in kills at one point.
Oh yeah.
A couple return kills from enemy in that last engagement, but still firmly in the grasp of the black and white.
Yeah, Team SoloMid looking very, very strong, and usually when we see roster swaps, if you're newer to the scene, Snoopy, longtime hunter on this role, actually switched to the mid lane, and they take Jigz, their former coach, for a split, and he's now going to be playing the support role. Their mid lane has left the team, so that's the swing for Team SoloMid. They're looking very, very strong. And unfortunate situations for enemy. All the pauses have been used up, so SaltMachine in the long lane unable to come back. And you know what, Bart? You'll never know.
I'll never know what he leveled. Yeah, so for those of you that don't know at home, the rules state you get 3 3-minute pauses, and at the end of those pauses, play must commence, and that is the case here. SaltMachine unable to reconnect in time. We fast forward through the pauses for you so that you don't have to wait through them. And TSM, they're going to move on ahead here and try to close this one out now. 5v4. You see him pressuring the left side for now.
It's game number 2 in a 2-game set. 6-13 read the kills. As Team SoloMid has a commanding lead over their opponent. About 8,000 gold in that direction, give or take. They're going to continue their push. Mid lane, 4 members of enemy standing guard.
Yeah, Pain blinks away from a tough situation there. He was going to take some Janus harass either way. TSM, they're playing it safe. They're going to port the Janus back. They're going to just choke off the map. Tier 2 on the left was taken. Two tiers remaining here. And with a Sun Wukong in a 4v5, it's like a 19 versus 2, basically. I mean, he just does so much disruption. He's going to make it so hard for them. They're not going to have enough CC to really do anything about him. They don't have another warrior to even try to peel him.
Yeah, I mean, with that Hercules gone, that is going to be a rough deal to deal with because of, as you said, the lack of peel and the lack of just plain control and displacement on enemy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and physical burst also goes down quite a bit. No blink. I'm sorry, no crit blink. No crit on the side of Vetium just yet. So, yeah, they don't have much physical burst, and they have a lot of physical resilience on the side of TSM. In fact, Mail of Renewal is complete onto that Thor, so he'll just continue to be this frontline presence. And actually, I think it's going to be a renaissance for Thor with this item. As people were still trying to find what that perfect defensive item was for a long time. Magi's Blessing, Spirit Robes, Hide of the Urchins, whatnot. Right. And I think this really is one of the best ones. It gives him the CDR that he craves, and it gives him the ability to continue to poke effectively, plus just a whole boatload of HP. They may be forcing out the Chaos Ultimate here if they can continue this initiation. Divios will go up into the Somersault Cloud. Yes, and there's the new Ultimate Force, which means the Thor Ultimate's going to be coming out. Counter initiation comes in. All three hit by DaGarz, perfectly placed. Hun Batz Ultimate used. Beads used by multiple members of TSM there to evade it. Khaos, the only one still standing as Vetium, is protecting the Tier 2 here. I'm sorry, the only one standing in the base to defend. Tier 2 is gone. All 5 members of TSM are here and putting the damage in, and they'll continue to make their case for game number 2, 15-6 at the 19.5-minute mark.
Now,
TSM could be it here.
One of the more fundamentals, if you're wondering why Team SoloMid is waiting for the minions to come in here instead of just pushing on with their 5 tanky characters, is because the towers and the phoenixes are actually more powerful without minions in the inner circle. So Team SoloMid waits for these minions.
Oh, Rom snipes. Is he going to get Divios? Dodge 1, dodge 2, dodge 3. He will not, was the answer to that question.
Yeah, and that allows the siege to come on a little bit easier for TSM. The Phoenix is down on the right-hand side.
Damage. Yeah, there it is.
Wiggles confirms a counter kill.
Nice played, Wiggles. Predicts the Pain. No. I thought he was going to blink forward in Cataclysm. I was like, no. But Cataclysm is on cooldown. They're trying to pursue this even more.
Blink forward from Hun Batz.
Okay, he's going to avoid the stun out of Thor there. DaGarz doesn't have any more options.
Ready. There it is. They're going to use it on Jigz. Looking to find all the individual picks. Enemy can. Jigz will survive. Unfortunately for enemy, stunned out as Wiggles. A lot of damage. Good.
And Divios now full HP. He's ported back in. He takes a ton of burst damage. He doesn't have much answers for that magical. And yeah, he's going to go down. So a little bit of sloppiness from TSM here. Well, I'll say a little bit. Actually, a lot of sloppiness from TSM here. As, well, Thor, he's not. DaGarz never too sloppy.
DaGarz gets the kill.
Unless he re-engages like a madman. But I don't think he will. No. Back to the mid lane he goes. And they'll wait on their Guardian and your Janus to come back this time around. Divios, he's on the sidelines for another 40 seconds.
Gold
why not solo Gold Fury?
By Eonic, as you said, why not? Lifesteal provided to you by Soul Eater. Very interesting, actually. This is worth noting. A lot of times we see Transcendence. Lifesteal item, attack speed. We see Fatalis built for a Xbalanque. And ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the solo laner for enemy. It's SaltMachine.
And yes, now we get to see his abilities. Hey, there you go. Yeah, so it is a value point and mitigate wounds. I would love to hear like why here. I mean, I think you're right on with the burst damage, Tom. But I would like to hear from the horse's mouth. I mean, it's an interesting build. Just the resiliency how to mitigate wounds, I think, is just really amplified when you build protection items like Mystical Mail.
Just trying to go for, I guess.
I guess it's just so hard to kill Sun Wukong. You just need all the damage you can get.
Exactly. Especially when you're trying to fight in that long lane. Now, SaltMachine coming back level 13, comparatively speaking to the older solo laner level 19. Going to be a little bit problematic for him to go ahead head-to-head against Divios.
Yeah, well, now it's a level 13 Hercules versus a nearly level 20 Sun Wukong, 19.5.
But one of the good things, though, about this situation, Bart, or at least the silver lining, is that
he comes back quickly.
Hercules' displacement doesn't get leveled up. The flip and the push will always push you the same amount of distance.
Okay, all right. So he still has a reasonable amount of CC at this level.
Exactly.
And he only gets tankier from here on out as mitigates wounds will come up. So the damage is still relevant.
Rama in the sky looking for the snipes. Again, will miss them on the top side of your screen. On the bottom, though, Wiggles being chased out. Jingle bang, says Divios. Wiggles
they'll let PainDeViande go, and they'll look for the high priority targets here. Yeah, they'll take down Vetium. If they get the new as well here, this is game. They won't really have anything to clear the wave. Yep,
That's
just
that.
a very low-level Hercules and a Geb are the only things standing between Team SoloMid and victory. You can see them charging down the right side lane. They're not going to look for any more Phoenixes. They think this is it, and I think I agree with them. I think that they have a pretty good opportunity to kill this one. They'll kill this last wave, force their minions, their fire minions into the base a little bit faster, and on they go. Eonic is alive as well, notably. That's the most important thing, is that the Xbalanque is going to be able to throw his in-hands in. Down under 10k now.
Pain's here.
6k, 5k, so this is half HP. This is about the HP the Titan will have if you take down all the towers and Phoenixes. Doesn't matter. Down it goes, as does PainDeViande, and TSM will 2-0 Enemy Esports here as the final North American set in Week 4.
Well played by Enemy and Team SoloMid, but unfortunately for Enemy, their sort of reign of terror, as they were doing very, very well in the first few weeks of the SPL, is going to stop here. Team SoloMid winds up with a win, 2-0 over Enemy.
Yeah, and that's, I think, a big sigh of relief for TSM as well.
Yeah.
Enemy would have been a really tough loss for them because Enemy is a team that I don't think they think is at their level.
Agreed.
I think the TSM would say that, no, we're much better than that team. And losing there to an Enemy that's on a big hot win streak would have been a big morale killer for them. Outside of Enemy, though, they probably feel okay about this.
Sure.
They didn't necessarily, I wouldn't say they got stumped. They lost the lanes in game 1. Game number 2, they had a DC. They can feel, pretty good about their performance so far. This split still losing to what is often the best team in North America.
And still maintain a winning record. With their six wins and 2 losses, that should bring them to about 6-4, which, as I said, still winning.
Yeah,
so
they're still doing well. And they still have a really good path to make it to land. They'll see TSM again this split later on. Alpha Draft top performers this game are going to go the way of TSM. Divios, DaGarz, Jigz, Snoopy, and Eonic. Eonic only 18 points on that Hunter, though.
look at Jigz finding his way in the middle as a support player.
Nicely done.
A lot of times
So
when
the
it comes
two players that have switched roles, you got the least fantasy points in this game.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of times when it comes to fantasy and stuff like that, support doesn't get any love.
No, but
Jig's turning it around.
Alpha Draft does. Let's take a look at the first blood from this game. In this one, it was TSM all the way, and this is one in a series of 1v1s that the Divios is able to, and this is where the turnaround happens. Oops. Got Mystical, I'm sorry, got Creeping Curse, slowed down, Cat stunned, the archers were pounding into him, the dot out of the Bluestone Pendant. There it is, and Divios, with those 2 1v1s, is the player of the game, and I think no big surprise there. He really, really dominated this game.
I mean, the Sun Wukong was just too strong, and this is a character that Divios was strong on when it wasn't popular in the meta, when it wasn't viewed as a good choice. Now, it's viewed as a good choice. He only got better. Now, with the Bluestone even further augmenting this character choice in sort of the Smite meta at the moment, everything is going Divios' way with respect
Look how
to
close he gets for Cat stuns here. Like, just guarantees it. That's something that I noticed during this play. A really great patience there. This was a pretty aggressive play. He actually like goes into the 1v4 here. They ultimately get a play here. Actually, I believe DaGarz is the one that secures the kill on the backside on the Hun Batz. Yeah, there it does go. But the Nuwa goes down, I think, to credit of the Sun Wukong. Yeah, here it is, Bluestone Pendant, and the last in-hand going to do it. And just being the disruptive, slowing, knock-upping force that Sun Wukong always is. Divios does it well.
In the middle of every team fight.
Yeah, better than most.
Sun Wukong starting some of these team fights. Don't know how happy his team was, but they were able to capitalize just so many times. We saw, as you said, the slows, the hits over the top, and fantastic stuff coming out from Divios.
Well, we do have a team interview with Team SoloMid, and it is, of course, Eonic, the Hunter. Eonic, are you there?
Hello.
Hey, man, how are you?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
I'm great. How are you guys?
I'm doing really well. Congratulations on your victory. Looking like you're settling in. Talk to me about Freya. Talk to me about Xbalanque. Who you liking better? What felt best?
Well, we just picked Freya last week because, or not last week, last game against AFK because she's really, really strong. Enemy banned her both games, so I kind of just played Xbalanque and AFK'd in my lane and let Divios kind of stomp everyone. So, it was a pretty fun game.
I mean, it seems to have worked out for you in the past, letting Divios sort of do what he does in that solo lane and then engage. Now, a lot of the times what we noticed was that Divios would jump in 1v4 and then the team fight would happen. Give us an insight to the communications. Is that planned, or does Divios just sort of say, I'm in, follow me?
It's more so the latter, to be honest, but for the most part, we're usually almost always ready to follow up with him, and he usually gets a lot of damage off, so
nice.
Works out well.
Janus, I also want to ask about Janus. We've seen, I think, Snoopy play exclusively Janus in the mid lane role. Comfort pick or best god available at the time? You guys have first picked it a lot of times.
I think I would say best god available at the time. I think Snoopy played Isis one game, and Janus the other 3 games. So he's really comfortable on Janus, and we think Janus is a really strong pick right now. So that's the reasoning behind that.
I'm going to ask you the tough question here. Which lineup do you feel more confident with? Which is more comfortable for you? Snoopy in the Hunter role with Bush, or Snoopy making the transition to mid lane with Jigz on support?
Well, I've got to tell you right now, obviously our lineup isn't as strong as it was before, but I can already tell, like, the attitudes have gotten a lot better and the team atmosphere has gotten a lot better. I don't know. It definitely isn't solely because of Bush. It might have just been because a change needed to be made, but
right.
We're all feeling a lot better with this new roster, regardless of how the results might look, and I think that we're going to be stronger in the future because of the roster changes.
Are you going to beat AFK next time you guys see him this split?
Yeah, of course.
Awesome, man. Well, congratulations. You can find Eonic at TSM Eonic on Twitter, /Eonic on Twitch. Eonic, any final call-outs or shout-outs before you go?
We've gotten a lot of support from the fans over the last few days during these roster change times, so I just want to thank you guys for that. Thank you to the casters. You guys did a great job as usual, and thanks to my teammates. And yeah,
Thank
that's
you.
it.
Hell yeah, dude. Well, thanks for coming by. And that does it for North America this time around, my friends. That does it for the commentary for today. Just a couple of procedural things to take care of before we go, like the North American standings after today's game, inclusive of the forfeit from Cloud9 into Eager. That moves Eager up to 3 and 5. It moves Cloud9 down to 3 and 5. So now 2 teams that I think a lot of people had in their top 4 are now in the bottom. Not right are the standings, my friends. At hi-rez Peckies on Twitter if you are very disappointed about what happened here today. But AFK Gaming still is 10-0 and TSM 8-4. They've done well for themselves.
Yeah, big switch, and as you said, Enemy still with the winning record.
There you go.
There it is.
What a
Ladies
guy.
and gentlemen, we now have the correct standings, and 3 and 7 are Cloud9, 5 and 5 are Eager. But the match that we just watched was Team SoloMid versus Enemy, and although Team SoloMid takes off 2 losses in the Enemy column, Enemy still staying positive with the 7-5.
Also, I think Eager actually now moves up into the 4th place spot at 5 and 5 over Denial, who was sitting at the 5 and 7 ultimately. So, maybe in the 3rd place spot over Cognitive in the tied for Denial. So,
yep,
it's actually a huge win for Eager that comes on the back of a little bit of a lack of preparation, unfortunately, in Cloud9. Tough to find a support for Andy, especially. I mean, Andy's your play caller and your jungler and one of the best players on the planet. So, replacing him is going to be really tough at the last minute, and I'm sure that Cloud9. I'm sure Barracuda has made a very post. I'm sure he's made a post. He's always really good about getting out there and kind of communicating to the fans about what he does. So look for Barracuda to have a statement on kind of what happened, how it went down, and the unfortunate circumstances that caused that forfeit. But before we let you guys go, let's talk about what's coming up this Wednesday. Not only will you have patch notes previews and of course the SPL breakdown show, you will now have You want to cast. This might Caster Search 2015 brought to you by hi-rez Studios so that you could cast maybe if you thought you were good at it.
Yep. Should be fun.
Which is also an acronym. SY, that whole thing. Now, let's take a look at the video, guys. It is going to be awesome. I did joke there, but it's 12 of the top community commentators, and they're going to be showing us what they got. Show us what you got. So let's take a look at the video. Show them what you got.
Hey everyone, and welcome!
Oh, they're coming in from Prime as well. Get out of my face, optics!
Up on 36-50 with a huge straight finish comeback! Gaga killer! Target jumping away, jumping back in. Quadra kill for Replica!
And now they're going to push us to the feet.
This event coming as the number 2 I love myself! Ripping through! Titan down, falls 3! A double kill for himself! It's a 5 They're gonna go for the win! Pushing down the mid lane is gone! Looking for $1.3 million! And this could be it!
Kanye and Convery gonna have to team up to
GG!